Just tell y'all the real reason why the black woman always one up the black man. This is why, like, why there's a perpetual jealousy between the two, is because there is favor on the daughters of Zion. There is true favor on his daughters. Why? Because we humble ourselves and we seek the Lord with our whole heart. Whereas our counterparts, our men, the black man who is really truly God's sons too, but they are disobedient children that think that they don't need him. So because they think that they don't need him, he allows them to suffer. He allows them to suffer at the hands of their very own women. He allows them to suffer. This is why we undefeated against the black man. This is why we will continue to prevail. This is why the enemy, the black man becomes our enemy, and God uses the black man to lift us up, because he says, sit at my right hand, my daughters. Sit at my right hand, my daughters, while I make your enemies your footstool. And your enemy is him of your very own household. And a lot of times, who is that? It's that supposed to be head. It's that man. It's that man. And a lot of the men, a lot of the little favor that these men do get is because of the association. It's because of your affiliation to the woman that you with, who has the favor on her. So because of her, you get little redemption because of her. Because of her praying over you. Because of her forgiving heart, her loving heart for you. Her really wanting to see you win. Whereas though you don't really want to see her win. And God judges the heart of all men. He judges the heart of all men. So because of that is why we will always prevail. It might seem like we taking loss after loss, but no, God is teaching us lessons in this stuff. He's teaching us lessons. He's teaching us how you can have a forgiving heart. But that does not mean you let these people back into your life, that you let them take up your whole heart again, that you give them all of that. You are to keep some for you. You are to keep those most sacred, precious parts for you and for the Lord, really. Because the Lord has came through for you more times than that man has came through for you. Every time that man kicked you, the Lord is the one wiping your tears. The Lord is the one giving you strength when that man kicks you down and try to strip you from every bit of being that you are. That man strips you from your identity. And who shows you who your identity is again? Who builds you back up? It is the Lord. It is the Lord. For he is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above within. It is the Lord. And don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget that. And I just pray that these men wake up and begin to truly seek the Lord with their whole heart. For they are the Israelites. They are the sons of Jacob. And because a lot of them don't even know, and because of their own life, their own traumas that they've had to endure, and they have no clue why they had to endure it. It has caused them to turn so far away from God, caused them to walk such in the ways of the enemy. It allowed them to be so disobedient, to continue to sin against God and to continue to blaspheme his name. It is a heavy curse on them, because they will not submit. They black man ego, they pride is out of this world, which is why they are workers of Satan. They have the pride of Satan on them. They will not humble themselves. They have no humility. And because of that, God lets them perish. He lets the enemy have his way with them and eat them up, devour them, which is why they got to drink their damn self to sleep. I mean, it's sad. It is sad. And this is why it's important to be careful who you allow to attach to you. Because see, these men know that they're lacking in a lot of areas. So they will attach themselves like the leeches that they are, like the energy vampires that they are. They attach themselves to a woman who embodies all this greatness, all this holiness. I didn't even say like that we ain't perfect, but there's a lot of, they see the greatness in you. They see the God in you. They can tell that there's favor over your life. So they want to attach themselves to you so that they can suck some of that and get some type of energy for them. That's why they're energy vampires. They have to attach themselves to something to get life, to get sustenance. They have to attach themselves to something, and that something is a woman. Is a woman. They're pathetic. And because of their pride, they will ruin what could have been a good thing. They avoid correcting where they went wrong. They avoid taking accountability. They literally bring their own households down with their bare hands. Because pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Not being able to put your pride to the side and say, as a man, I'm failing at this. As a man, I am unhealed from this. And because I am unhealed from this, it is projecting onto everything that comes from me. My woman, my children, my grandchildren, everybody. I'm just pouring straight poison onto everybody versus pouring that holy water onto them, that anointing oil onto them. You're not watering them, you're killing them. They're the weeds. These men are the weeds. They are the weeds that's taking the nutrients from the other plants. Because weed sucks out the nutrients. It wants to take the nutrients from the healthy plants, from the true plants, the good plants that's blooming, blossoming, to bring off its great vitality that it has. The weeds come around to suck it, steal it so it can grow. There are weeds. Get them weeds out your garden. You wonder why you're not prospering in certain areas, why you're feeling low. See what is your garden looking like? You got weeds in your garden. You got to pluck them weeds up out of there. You got to pluck them out because they sucking the nutrients out of you. It's quite pathetic. But this is all the curse, especially over our community. Why do y'all think our community has it worse than any other community? It is the cursing that is on us because who we are his chosen people. And the black man, and this is what I had the video, the Antichrist video, where he said, if y'all have watched it on my YouTube, y'all know, but the Antichrist video is still up there, and I'm gonna actually link my particular video because I did a whole commentary on the video, because the Antichrist was speaking on everything that I have already been revealed to about God. And the fact that he said the number one objective for the Antichrist is to keep the black man far, far away from God. They do not want the black man to be connected to his maker. They want him to strive with his maker all the days of their life so that they can never walk into the true calling that God has for them. So that they can never have peace on earth. So that they can never have vision. So that they can always feel like the underdog. Always feel underneath. Always feel inferior to everyone, even to his woman. That's the whole objective. And this is why I urge you, if you are a mother with sons, it is important that you teach your son who he is and why it's important for him to have a relationship with God, and why, even if no matter what he go through in this life, that he never run away from God, that he press in more and more into him. It is important for y'all to go over these tests, these stories, these biblical stories with them, to see how Abraham didn't run from God because he was thrown into his situation. Jacob didn't run from God because he was thrown into his situation. David did not run from God because he was thrown into his situation. Daniel did not run from God because he was thrown into his situation. Joseph did not run from God, though he was thrown into a situation. They pressed in more. They remained their faith. They knew they allowed God to use that enemy to get them to where they was really supposed to be. Jonah, the only one trying to run, and God snatched him up. He made his life more hell for him trying to run. For him trying to run from him. When God wants you and when he on you, I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody say, I'm living it. You cannot run from God, because what he gonna do when you're his, when you are his, he's possessive over you. Where do y'all think these men get this possessiveness from? When they think that when you're his, he is possessive over you. He gets jealous about you. He gets jealous. I was literally just reading that this morning, and what was it? I was reading Zephaniah this morning because God was speaking. Baby, talk about the God who speaks, whose word is true, whose word you're living out, which is why you got to go to the word to know how to get through each situation, and to know that your Lord is with you. And And he goes before you. He goes before you. He is with you in every situation. And it's funny that, because what happened is this sermon popped up from a pastor, and it was from, I guess, over a year ago or something. That just popped up on my homepage. Zephaniah 3:17. 3:17 is one of my numbers. I told y'all God speaks through these angel numbers that they try to say like, oh, nah. When you see these numbers, you need to go to that word. I don't know strong concordance. No, like it's levels to it. So I'm not gonna say don't go to those things, because they will speak too. The angel number meaningful and will speak, all of it. But ultimately, you need to go to that word, because he is speaking through his word. He is speaking through his word so that you know it is true. But he speaks. He confirms. He reassures. But it is important that you teach your sons, and even with your partners, you cannot be with these men who they are, unless you are on that side too, like, then fine. But that's why you can't be unequally yoked, because you need a man that knows that no matter what he go through, he don't gotta become weak. He don't gotta let that situation defeat you. We rise above this stuff. You gonna get your win. Even if it seems like you taking a loss, it ain't no loss. It's a lesson in it. And because people don't like to be accountable and don't like to, it's the perspective. It's all about perspective. And when you have a negative, pessimistic view on life, it's about your world view. And this is what I'm doing in my coaching program. You guys, if you have a pessimistic view of life, you definitely need to be booking a one-on-one with me, baby, because we got to rewire your world view.